Hello, everyone, and welcome to our dandelion lesson for this week. I just got one of these nice little watercolor postcards to work on today. I wanted to talk today. First of all, I hope you're all doing very well enough, anyways. And I hope you're finding time for yourself to do something creative every day. Something where time can stand still for a little while, even if it's 15 or 20 minutes, right? And I have been really working hard to do that for myself, whether it's painting or drawing or writing, writing in my notebooks. I've been trying to do that every day. And I definitely write in my notebooks every day. I don't always paint every day unless I'm working. And I do tend to draw. And I wanted to talk a little bit about that today, about drawing. I have some new things coming up. And the one I can talk about right now is a drawing, a live drawing, I don't know, like group session that's going to be free on Instagram. I'm gonna try to schedule it every week, and I'm still trying to find the right time because my schedule is kind of in flux. And I think Wednesdays are going to be the best day, and then I'm going to decide on a time that's good for both Europe and it's impossible to make it good for the whole world. So Australia is the tricky one, and I have so many lovely people in Australia, so it's just tricky, but I'm going to try and to figure out a good time for everybody. I will be saving them, so if you can't make it live, but I like live because we can talk, we can converse, like you can type things in and I can respond, and I think that's really helpful. And I'm hoping what it is it's just a call to pick up the pencils and the pens. And I'm gonna call this series Drawing is Democratic. And it's going to be free on Instagram. And so you are all welcome to join me there. And it's because it's what I believe, right? I believe in drawing more than anything else that I do artistically within visual art. Drawing for me is the foundation. It's the most important thing that I do. It is the thing that if you want to be a painter, that's going to make you a painter someday. It's just the crux, right? It's where everything comes together. And I think that and I've said this many times, if I could only have one art supply, like medium for the rest of my life, I would choose a pencil. That's just how I am. So I really believe that so many people think that drawing is something they can't do, and so they think that painting is easier, more expressive. They can, but the truth is that drawing is approachable by any person that can hold a pencil somewhere with their body. We can draw with a stick in the sand. We can draw with our fingers in a tray of lentils. We can draw, you know what I mean? We can, spill Dawn soap onto the counter and draw something in it. We can draw anywhere. And we don't need anything more than a basic pencil or a pen if we want to draw on paper. And so in the Drawing is Democratic series, I'm going to start with just a number 2 pencil and a black Bic pen. Or you could choose blue if you wanted to, or red, doesn't matter. But I like the graphite and the black together. And that's what I'm going to use for my materials, because investing in supplies should not be a hindrance to making art, right? So I wanted to kind of give you a heads up about that, and I will be announcing it on Instagram probably early next week. I need to figure some things out first. I want to have a good plan behind it because I want it to succeed and I want to be able to carry on with it. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to upload reference images so we can all work on the same thing to my website, so they're easy to access for anyone. So that's that. There's other things in the works, but they're a much bigger scope, and they're still in the flesh. They're planned, but they're still in the fleshing out phases, and I'm not really ready to share those yet. But it'll be a wonderful opportunity for people who really want to um, get serious about their drawing. So my daughter, I'm turning 60 in a couple of months, and my daughter wanted to take me on a trip for my birthday, and I just think it's the best thing ever. I remember I took her on a trip for her 30th birthday, and she wants to take me on a trip. And so we were planning on going to New York City because one of my holy grail places that I've always wanted to visit was the drawing center in the village. And and the two of us have not been to New York together since she was a teenager, and she's 30. She'll be 32 this year. So, yeah, it's been a long time. No, she'll be 33. She'll be 33 this year. And it's been a long time. So, no, wait, hold on. She'll be 33. Yeah. Sorry about that. Wow. My memory sometimes. So I was really getting hyped up about going to the drawing center and really experiencing it. It's been like, I've even thought about approaching them to do a workshop there sometime. And then we were also going to go to like Yoseka Stationery and Nico Neko Zakaya and just do a fun girls' weekend. It was going to be 2 days because it's really all the time we have. Like leave on a Friday, come home on a Monday or a Sunday night. And, the more we looked into it and trying to find a place to stay in the village or in Soho or, anywhere in like Chelsea, it's just too expensive and there's too much time spent traveling in motion, right? Like traveling from one place to the next. So I made an executive decision and I just said I would rather go to Toronto for the weekend because then we can drive, we can be there in an hour and a half. We can spend much more time just doing fun things. It's less expensive. We have great exchange rate there, all of those things. So we're going to do that. I'm still researching to see if there's anything in Toronto like the Drawing Center. If you know of anything, let me know. But they do have a wonderful museum. And so I'm sure we'll do that. And yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. So the Drawing Center, right, really started me thinking about the bigger picture of drawing in my life and how, for my own self, it's really where I want to focus. And I have been for a while. And sometimes, I have this Instagram account called I Dream in Gray. And to me, those are drawings, right? And everything's monochromatic. And it begs the question, what is drawing? What is drawing? And the reason why is because a lot of people will give you the definition, well, drawing is something that's dry media like a pencil or pen, or even a brush that's linear, that's made from mark making. You're making marks on paper. It's very direct and like fresh. You're in it, right? It's not as like flowy as painting, right? It's very direct. And they say that like drawing is the most direct way that an artist can work, that it's actually shows the hand of the artist more than anything else. I think that's true. But I also think that you can draw with watercolor where you're using brushstrokes to make marks on paper that might be very fluid and interchangeable. I see drawing as something that is probably more direct and spontaneous than painting. However, it can also be very intentional, right? And somewhere I feel like the mark is part of it. So we can have something very fluid and beautiful, like watercolor washes interacting, and then maybe we take marks to it, right? So I would love for you to think about that for yourself. Like if you were going to describe the difference between drawing and painting, how would you do it? How would you describe the difference? I think that's an interesting thing to think about. And I've also been doing some research on that, and the answers are all over the map. There's no like set definition for this, right? So it's something to think about for your own self. So I have been drawing a lot, more than I've been painting, and I draw, this is the little book that I keep in my purse, and I'll just show you. I've been just doing very direct little drawings that are sometimes surprising, sometimes meditative, and very, very political, really. Sometimes just soft and dreamy and make me calm down, right? Or looking at a natural object. This is actually not a bird's egg. It's actually a real stone that I have that's shaped like a bird's egg. Sometimes it's just the most basic Zentangle doodle, right? Sometimes it's testing pens. Sometimes it's a pencil sketch, right? That I just am not even really looking at anything, but just pulling something out and allowing it to happen on the page. So I've been doing a lot of drawing. That's my small one, and then this is the one that's on my desk. And this one, it's the same. I don't take it too seriously, right? Sometimes it's swatches of watercolor. I mean, I was working on ideas for Deep Deep Light for a gray palette. So sometimes it's like that. Sometimes it's just thinking things through, right? Sometimes I'm drawing something that I see in front of me. Sometimes it's just an exploration of color or mark in words, something that I saw that Alice and Macon went to see an exhibit of Louise Bourgeois. So I drew one of her sculptures that Allison had taken a picture of. And then, I don't know, I was just doing these little swirly things. This was my eye through my glasses. You know, I mean, it's just, this is alizarin crimson that I was writing an essay about it for Substack, and then I just made a swatch of it and wrote around it. My granddaughter and I were sketching together, and it just happened to be a bird. This was just making marks to music, writing things in different pens. Last night I was sketching with the magic pencil, just looking at my granddaughter and my cats, and both of my granddaughters, and my sweetheart. So it's just drawing, right? It's different all the time. So I thought today I would like to ask you to think about drawing and its place for you. I'm going to go grab a bag of tricks so I can show you what I keep in my drawing bag. But I want you to think about it a little bit and come up with some answers for me. You can type it in the comment section. You can also share your work if you make a drawing today. But I want you to start thinking about the place that drawing has. If you have any fears surrounding drawing, why you avoid it, why you draw more than you paint. I mean, there could be a million different ways to approach this, but I want you to think about it, no matter where you stand on the arc of drawing, right? I want you to think about it. We're going to be doing a little bit more of it here on Patreon, but mostly you're going to see it on Instagram, but with those weekly, with the weekly lessons. I want to do something that's accessible to all people without a paywall. Instagram's the best place to do that for me. And then maybe I'll remind here as well. And then coming soon, I also have a new feature that has been unlocked for me as an ambassador on Patreon. It's going to be kind of fun, and I can't talk too much about it yet. I'm still getting used to it, but it'll be a live feature here. So we'll meet live on Patreon. It's going to be kind of fun. All right, I'm going to go get my bag of tricks. I'll be right back. Okay, so when when I pack, this is always at my desk in a basket at my feet. But when I like go to my daughter's for the day, I don't really, or the cafe or wherever I go, I don't go that many places, to be honest with you. I take these 2 bags, all right? And so I'm going to show you what's in them. This one is really simple. It's just my colored pencils. It's just all the colored pencils, right? And so I keep them in here because I can't see them, which I really like, right? I can't see the colors really. And when I use colored pencils, I seriously stick my fingers in and I grab one. And I stick my fingers in and I grab one. And whatever colors come out are the colors that I use. I keep it really random, right? I love that. So if we use them today, that's how I use them. I don't really plan it out much for drawing. So while sitting down to draw is a deliberate thing, I am not necessarily planning it out in any way. I like it to be sort of spontaneous. Now, if I were to, let's say I wanted to make a really nice studied drawing of this, then yes, of course, I would choose my colors. I can dump them out and pick the colors, right? And I just thought this would be kind of fun to try today. And then this bag is, I accidentally left this out of here yesterday. It's a Cretacolor aquarelle pencil, and it's so small that it sometimes gets lost. So this bag, I can't remember. My friend Michelle had some kind of a party or something where these bags, I don't remember the name. Oh, here. Does it say it on here? 31. That's what it says. I don't know. But anyways, this is what I bought. And it's been awesome. But you can find these, right, in different places. It's just an awesome bag. And I'll show you, this is what I take. This hasn't changed at all in a while. So I think it's fun to see what other people use. And these are all things I use for drawing, right? So I've got a uni pen, and this is a 0.5, and this is in light gray. I've got a Jackson's, which you've seen a million times, 5.6 millimeters lead holder with a lead in it, a big thick lead. I've got, this is a Stabilo Pen 68. It's like a copper color. This is a Kentucky brush pen, which I love, as you know. This is a Cretacolor Monolith in 9B. So it's a nice, dark, woodless pencil. And I can make big, broad strokes with it that are really smushy. So those, that's getting too short. I can put everything else back and then stick it in and it stays better. Okay. This is actually something that my friend Michelle sent me that I've used a few times, and it's a pen, right? It's like a technical pen. I don't use that part. It's a mister. So if I leave the house, I can put a little water in it, and if I want to spray water on my drawing, I can. It's kind of cool. I should try this part. I just haven't tried it yet. I've got a ruler. All right, this is another metallic pen. It's a Zig Fudibiori metallic, and it's like a copper color. Really nice. I like metallic things and sparkly things. This is a magic pencil. This is a paintbrush that I can use if I need it. This is another sparkly one. This is by Pen Touch, copper. You can tell I like rose gold and copper and bronze. This is my favorite jelly roll. It's the black gold. I use this several times a day, every day of my life, and I'm not kidding. I buy them by the half dozen at the art supply store. I use these in my journaling and my art. I love this color, and I don't know what else to say. I love it. These are all jelly rolls. This is a crystal clear one, which is really pretty. It's like a champagne shimmer. And then these are both copper. One is metallic, one is pure sparkles. Love, love, love. In the zipper pouch, I've got a Posca pen in white. Love these. They're just big, fat acrylic. They're great. I've got an eraser. I've got a pencil sharpener. I've got a charcoal pencil. I've got the Cretacolor. This is the water-soluble graphite woodless. This is another magic pencil. All right, this is the thick one. I like having both. I use magic pencil a lot. And then this is something super cool. I don't remember where I got it. It's a stamp, and I love it because it's got gold, silver, and copper. It's like a little round sponge, and the paint is like you've put gold leaf on something. It's so intense. It's a teeny little thing. It's called Moo, so maybe you can find it that way. I don't know, but I don't remember where I got it. I've had it a long time. Okay, and then here, I'm not going to go through all of them. But this, and I've got a paper towel in there, you know, just that I use to wipe my brush. And then here I've got Pit pens. I've got all of the soft brushes in all of the grays. Okay, I like the soft brushes. I've got a copper one, and then I've got a white, and I've got a black, a big fat black one. That's it. So that's what I have in my drawing pouch. So I changed my mind. Instead of drawing an object, I think what I want to do today is a blind self-portrait. I've been doing these for many, many years. I've taught them in workshops. I've written about them. I've had them in different classes that I've taught. And they're still, I made a Craftsy video about them. And I still find them one of the most satisfying, interesting things to do. And basically what it means is that you close your eyes, and with your hand, your non-dominant hand, you feel your face, and with your dominant hand, you mark down what you feel, okay? So you can use anything. I think I'm actually going to use water-soluble pencil for this. All right, so I've got, this is pretty small, right? This page, and that's okay because I can go off the page. It'll be really interesting. But what I find about this exercise is that it helps us to connect, to connect with our hands and to the page in a way that completely surprises us. Like we will feel things and know things that we had no idea that we knew, and that we can mark them down in a way that we had no idea that we could do. Right? So I'm going to start, and I'm going to take my glasses off. And I'm going to put my pencil down so I know I'm going to make this the top of my head. Okay, the center of the top of my head. And I'm going to start up here, and I'm going to start making marks very, very slowly, how I feel, right? What I feel happening. And so I feel like the edge of my hair. And I'm just kind of following, letting my fingers feel. And then I've got these little hairs that come down. I'm not looking, okay? And then I feel my ear. So I'm gonna take my ear, and it goes up, and it goes around. And if it's not on the paper, I feel like I'm not on the paper. That's okay, because eventually you'll end up back on the paper. There, I think I felt the edge of the paper. You can use a bigger sheet of paper too, but I find it's really interesting to let it go off the paper because I get these really cool compositions. So now I'm like below my ear, and I'm feeling that jawbone. And then coming over to the fleshy part of under my jaw, under my chin. And then I'm right in the middle of my chin, and then coming up the side. There's that. I'm off the paper, I feel. And then my ear. And I'm just gonna follow around because I know I'm off the paper, I'm not making marks. Okay. And then, okay, I'm back on. Coming up, I feel hair. I'm not going to do all of my hair, but just like the hairline right right around. Okay, and then I'm going to go back to the middle, where I think is the middle anyways, of my face. I know with the hand that's touching my face what the middle is, but I might not know what's on the paper. And I feel the center, and I'm going to just kind of let my pencil skim down until I feel like the divot in my nose, the top of my nose, and I'm just going to kind of do that. And then I'm going to go over to the right eye from there, and it sinks in, so I kind of want to make it dark. And I feel this little area, and then kind of goes up and down, and then I feel lashes. And then it's back to here. And I feel like the under eye. And then go back to my nose, and I'm following it down. And I curve in. And down. And then there's the hole. And the bottom of the hole kind of comes down. And it comes up. And then I'm going to go back up to the top again. And then over and do the other side. And what I always find with this is sometimes they resemble me and sometimes they don't at all. But they're always interesting, and they're always like really like kind of cool, you know? And very sort of artistic. Hole. Okay. I'm going to follow back around. Hole. And then I feel that little divot in between. And I want to kind of and I feel the Cupid's bow. I'm at the middle of my lip again, and I'm going to go down to the, then I'm going to kind of lightly go down until I feel the under part of my lip. It's really deep. And then filling it up that way. And then I'm going to go up again to the top of my lip, and then up to my nose, and around the outside of my nose, and a little crevice part, and then up my nose, to the bump on my eye, and then I'm going to do the next eye. I got the other eye. So I've got a little corner, and then it kind of goes up and around, down. Seems to go really heavy down. Then I got lashes. the inside of my eye. And a little bit of that under part. Okay, I'm gonna open my eyes. Oh boy. How interesting, right? I wish my lips were that big. All right, so I've got this base now. I like to use the water-soluble graphite, and I'll show you why. So now I have this base. Let me put my glasses back on. And I can use this, right, as the beginning of an exploration of materials, right? And so I'm gonna start with my brush that I've got in here and just take a little bit of water. And I'm gonna start here with the water-soluble graphite and just pull it out a little bit where hair might be and underneath. So I'm kind of giving it just a really light background, actually, is what it's doing. My ear went off, so that's good. Maybe I'll use it to fill in my lips too. Well, let's see here. Then I think I'm going to use colored pencil. So I'm going to just put my hand in and take a couple out. I'm digging way down in there, so I grab something random. I don't see it. And maybe on the fleshy parts, and I can just explore. Maybe my eyelashes want to be this color. I almost look like I have glasses on, but I don't. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Now I might want to do some mark making. So maybe I want to put I like this color that's very coppery. So maybe I want to put some metallic on there. And maybe I will use the Stabilo pen and put some mark making on one eye. Maybe I'll just do all coming from one point. And then matching it over here. I tend to stick with fewer things, right? I try to use less. I find that, you know, this is already getting a little bit crowded for me. But I might take my Posca pen. And just put some. And that'll just soften that transition there. I like that. And even though you can't see it, even though it's white, it gives it a little bit of a texture, and I kind of like that half of the face has this. It's really interesting texturally. I'm also going to do it here where these meet here. I'm going to take one more pencil. I'm going to grab until I get a light one. I don't want anything too dark. This will be perfect. Okay. And I'm going to use this to do some more coloring. Leaving where the Posca pen is alone. Leaving that area alone. So by doing this exercise, you can create something that's pretty avant-garde, you know, that actually is kind of edgy and interesting and not something you would ever draw on your own. And I like that. And I like that it's different every time. I've got a lot of these. Somewhere on my Instagram where I show a whole bunch of them together. And I know I've showed them in a recent class. That's super. And then I might, because I want one side to be in shadow, I might go over this part with a darker color and then just let it slowly blend in. So heavier on the outside and getting very light as it comes in. And go over that one more time on the edge. I think that's really interesting. And I think I'm going to go over this eye with it also. Made some interesting. And then I've got this color here. I want to do something with that. So I think I'm going to bring back this and just color this in with that metallic. And so what began as a very rough blindfolded representation of my face has become almost like a mask that I've decorated by choosing random materials, right? I could make it even bolder by using my big black marker and going in on the outside of this. Let's just see. So here we've got this, all right? Let me snap this. Okay, and let me just see what happens. So I snapped it. So I've got a representation of it. Now I'm going to use my big black marker, and I'm going to be careful to maintain the shape because it's really interesting. I don't want to lose anything that I've done. These big markers are so great. This is the Faber-Castell Pitt Artist Pen in the big thick one. And it's India ink, so it's archival, waterproof, really wonderful. I'm preserving the pencil, right? I'm not going over it. But it's just going to change the way it looks. And by keeping it random, every time you do this, number one, your drawing will be different every single time. I truly have some that look a lot like me. I've got some where I left my glasses on. It's very cool. And then by just sort of randomly selecting what you use to continue the drawing process, you just get these unique, completely unique, authentic works of art every time. And if it's not as intense black as you want it the first time, this is very porous paper, like it's watercolor paper almost. So it might soak the ink up a little bit. You can always go over it with a second coat if you want that really intense India ink black. I enjoy this so much. And I've kept it really random. Like, if I were to choose my supplies, I don't think I would choose these colors, right? But I really like them. Just want to make sure this is waterproof, so if I don't get it up now. Obviously, I need to clean my table. Very cool. So I'm going to actually see what happens if I go over this a second time. I mean, I think this is really interesting, and you could definitely use this as an art postcard. You can see how that second coat just really makes it rich. On some papers, like Bristol paper and things like that, it should come out pretty dark the first time. but on watercolor paper, it might take 2 coats. There, it's nice and dark now. It's really, really cool. You can also use the big Magnum Sharpies. Those are pretty great, but they just stink, right? These are non-toxic. Okay. There you go. I think that's super cool. I just absolutely love it. And I was thinking about doing the lip. I kind of like the lips neutral like that. I think it works really well. All right. So I hope you will try this, and I hope you will do what I suggested and consider drawing a little bit and do a little bit of writing about it in your sketchbook or in your journal, and share it with us if you want to. I would love to read it and have a conversation about it. Yeah, and I will when the Instagram lives start up, I will definitely post about it on Patreon so you're aware. If you're not a regular Instagram user, you can go check it out. And I'm pretty sure it's going to be Wednesdays, but it's not final yet. All right, there you go. Very cool. Love this. All right, everyone. I hope you have a great weekend, and I will see you next week. Take care.